When the river cried, the jungle listened. It didn't roar or flood, it wept. A sound unlike thunder or rushing water. Not the croaking of frogs or the chirping of crickets. Nothing like that. A soft, rhythmic murmur that echoed through the tall trees, as if the very land itself was feeling sorrow. The locals called it Nadi Roti, the weeping stream. They said it cried not for itself, but for something lost, hidden, or endangered somewhere nearby. Most people just laughed it off until one day it really happened. It started like any other day in the village. Men and women woke up before sunrise, tended their crops, their children going off to school. It was during those early morning hours that many heard the sad sound of the river crying. But they continued with their daily routines until midday when a child didn't return from school. No one panicked at first. It was common for kids to play by the river after classes. But as the sun dipped lower in the sky, the families grew worried. At midnight, as the moon hung high in the velvet sky, the villagers heard the river's low wail again. An elder, his face etched with years of wisdom and worry, insisted they follow the sound. Armed with flickering torches and driven by hope, they ran towards the river, their feet sinking in the wet, muddy soil. As they raced along the bank, the river's unusual song guided them downstream. It led them to a hollow in the ground beneath the stony overhang. There, huddled and shivering, they found the child asleep. Circle of curious birds chirping softly around him. It seemed impossible, yet there he was, safe and sound. No one could explain it, not at first. Was it a coincidence? A miracle? No one knew. But then it happened again and again. Each time the river cried, something was wrong. Once they found an injured panther caught in a hunter's wire near the ridge. Another time it was a hiker trapped under fallen bamboo. And once they discovered a rare bird chick that had fallen from its nest and was fluttering helplessly on the forest floor. Each time the river's cry led someone to them. One rescue stood out more than the others. For weeks, the jungle had been quiet, the river's mournful song absent. Then one monsoon evening, as thunder rumbled in the distance, the river began to hum with that familiar morning tone. This time, it sounded louder, almost urgent. The search party moved fast, listening, mapping every strange ripple in the current. It guided them far into the forest, deeper than anyone had ever ventured. Suddenly, they saw yet a massive tree had toppled over, crushing the roof of an old tribal hut. Underneath, the woman and her baby were trapped. The baby was silent, the mother nearly unconscious, but they were alive. From that day, no one doubted the river. Not the villagers, not even the scientists who came to record the water's strange patterns. Though they, too, left confused. The sounds didn't match any natural phenomena. There were no floods, no rock shifts, no storms. The cries came without weather. Only when a life, human or animal, was in trouble did the river weep. Some say the river holds memory, that it remembers every life touched by its waters and grieves when one of them is in peril. Others claim the jungle spirit flows through its veins, becoming its voice whenever there's danger. But one truth remained: whenever the jungle needed help, the river became its voice. And so, the legend of the crying river continued, a silent guardian watching over all who lived near its banks. Now, some might think such a tale is nothing but a myth, a story told to keep children from wandering too close to the water's edge. But those who've heard the river's call know better. Imagine yourself walking through a dense, ancient jungle, vines entwined around ancient trees, their roots forming a labyrinth beneath your feet. The air hums with unseen energy, alive with the buzz of insects and the distant calls of monkeys. Suddenly, the serenity is broken. You hear a soft, rhythmic sound, like a woman weeping. It seems to come from the river nearby. At first, you dismiss it, putting it down to the wind, or perhaps a bird. But the sound persists, growing louder, more insistent. Curiosity piqued, you decide to follow. As you move deeper into the jungle, the sound of the river grows clearer. It's not the usual gushing of flowing water. It's more like a lament, a mournful song that tugs at your heartstrings. The trees seem to lean in. Their branches form in a canopy that muffles the light filtering from above. Then you see it. Nestled between the trees is a clearing. In the center, a pool of water shimmers, and it's here that the sound reaches its crescendo. Cautiously, you approach. The sight before you takes your breath away. The water in the pool ripples and flows, but it doesn't resemble a river. It looks more like a vast sheet of black obsidian, smooth and featureless. It's as if you're looking into the depths of space, seeing galaxies swirl and collide. But it's not the stars that capture your attention. It's what emerges from the depths. Faces, countless faces, appear in the water. Some are serene, some contorted in pain. They seem to beckon, to plead, to tell stories that have been buried for ages. You feel a sudden urge to reach out, to touch the water, to feel the cold smoothness against your skin. But a primal fear holds you back. You sense that this is a boundary you shouldn't cross, a line you're not supposed to step over. In the distance, you hear a rustle in the bushes, the snap of a twig. Turning, you see a pair of eyes glinting back at you. They're the eyes of a creature you've never seen before. Sleek and sinuous, with a gaze that seems to pierce your soul. It takes a step forward, then another, and you realize with a jolt that you're not alone in this clearing. Something else is here, something that has been awakened by your intrusion. Terror grips you. You turn to run, but your feet are rooted to the spot. You struggle to break free, but it's as if an invisible force is holding you fast. The eyes come closer, and with a sudden surge, you're pulled forward. You stumble, fall into your knees before the pool. The water ripples, and the faces within seem to twist in agony. The creature steps forward, and in its hand, you see something that makes your blood run cold. A small, ornate box. It opens its mouth, and you hear a voice, raspy and ancient, echoing through your mind. You try to speak, to scream, but no sound comes out. The creature advances, and you see that it's not an animal, not as you've known it. It's a person, or what's left of one. Their skin is stretched taut over their bones, their eyes hollow, and as it reaches out to touch you, you see the answer to the mystery of the weeping river. In the depths of the pool, the faces are not of the living, but of the dead. And the river weeps for them, forever mourning the souls trapped within its depths.